High frequencies, everyone. Woo! It's been a doozy. That's all I can say. Yeah, today, I really wanted to do this video earlier today, but unfortunately I couldn't. I had to go to work and I had to teach Tai Chi, and in order to put myself back in the space of everything that I encountered in the dream state last night, I came home, sat at my altar, took some of my altar brew, drank some of that, took a shower, and just resetting myself, even getting back in the bed and getting into a space of recalling everything that happened in the dream last night, because it was so many different parts and dynamics. And even though I've been thinking about it all day and sitting with it today, I'm still not quite sure of what it all means. I can't. And I want to tell y'all that about these dreams. I'm putting them out here. I am not knowing what they all mean, what the prophetic meaning would be behind them, interpretation. But I know I am a vessel in which information from the dream state comes through. And so I just put it out here so you all can listen and decipher it. And maybe you all have had a dream that's similar to what I'm experiencing, or what I've experienced, or what you've experienced. And we can connect on some level. And so we can, oh gosh. And so we can take these different pieces and moving parts to the puzzle and put them together in order to understand the reasoning for our existence on different levels. Because I don't feel like it's just one answer to the puzzle. I don't think it's just one explanation to our existence. If we are in a world within worlds, if we're in layers of existences, if we have layers on us as, physical beings, there's layers. We got our subtle body, our vital bottle, our aura, we got all these different layers of this physical vessel from, externally and internally. So I'm not one to say that there's one answer to our existence. Like, we're just here to experience. Like, to me, that's some bullshit. Like, I can't, that's one level. I'm not going to say it's some bullshit. I take that back. I'm going to say that's only one part of an existence, of an experience, for one layer of our existence. Yeah, it's here for an experience, but there's so many other layers. There's so many other parts of who we are that we can't sit here and say that our entire being, internally and externally, is only here for an experience. It just doesn't resonate with me. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. So, yeah, that's my little rant. And, I think we reincarnate, or we come back into this form, or we come here into this realm. Who knows if we reincarnated, or this is our first time. I don't know. But we are here for various different missions. And so when I say that, I'm going into the dream because last night's dream took me back to the dream I had the night before. It's like it picked back up on the series or saga. And so I've had dreams similar to that, but not back to back in this particular fashion, where the night before it goes back into it and gives me the answers and starts to uncover. It's like a storybook. It's like reading a book. And so I've had it happen, like waking up, going back to sleep, and going back into the same dream, but never completing a whole 24 hours in this reality, and then going back and then uncovering information that flows into the dream state for that next day. So that was interesting to receive that. Interesting. So, going into what I experienced, not last night, but the night before. And I didn't share this yesterday because I was in the car and I wanted to go ahead and get the dream out yesterday because I knew when I came home I was going to be in full moon ritual mode, and it wouldn't have got out that part. And people needed to hear that because that healed and was a confirmation for people. Going into this is for other people. This is for, Soul Tribe. Not last night, night before that. I had a dream experience in which I was in this group. It was a group of us. I don't know how many. I can't tell you the number. I don't know number. But I know it's not just me. And we can go dissect it after I get the dream out. Okay? And so there was a person with like this, what one would say looks like a gun, but not a real gun. And it was a disintegrator, is what it did. It would disintegrate you. If you've seen Loki, and in the Loki, when he violated the timeline from the timeline, I think it was Timeline Association, whatever it was. I can't even think of what the name of it was. But anyway, when he violated, and he went up there, and they asked him for a ticket, and the guy was like, "Oh, I have a ticket, da 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 da." I'm getting in here, and the guy was just going off, and then the dude took the wand and disintegrated him, and then he kind of like, and his whole being just crumbled like stardust and just went away. This is what happened in the dream state. In my dream, it wasn't the wand, but there was like this gun. It wasn't like a taser, but it was like a zapper gun, like almost like a long water gun type of deal, but it was black. Oh, and what is similar to, I'll also give you this. If you all ever looked at Looney Tunes cartoons, The Martian. The Martian had this little gun thing situation. And it was, this is what it reminds me of. It was kind of big, and I may be able to post a picture of it on my Instagram for those who follow me there on my story, so you can see what I'm talking about. But whatever it was shot out from this particular contraption, gun or whatever. And if you were standing in front of it, you would disintegrate. But you would disintegrate and go into another dimension or timeline. It's not like you were done. It was not like you were non-existence anymore. It's almost like you were done in this physical form, but you were going somewhere else to work on another mission. And I didn't even know what was going on at the time in the dream until last night. In the dream that I had, that information came to me. And so it happened again last night in the dream state where I was going. It was like hopping timelines or hopping from dimension to dimension with different energies that I'm familiar with in this waking state that played themselves out in the dream state. And also some that I was not familiar with on this physical plane, but it's like I knew on another timeline, in another physical timeline. So I can't, right now, I'm trying to recall what happened before I tell you all of this, because this was the major part of the dream. And it was something that was going on because the dream picked up with me being disintegrated and going into another timeline. I remember being around family. My sister was involved. Her ex-husband was involved. I'm still trying to recall because it's fuzzy, everything that happened. But it wasn't a happy situation. It was like somebody got hurt or killed or something happened. And we knew about it. And because we knew about it, okay, it's starting to come back to me. Glad. Thank you, universe. Okay, so people were being taken out, killed, or but they were being taken out in this particular part of land or part of the world where if they were taken out, they really weren't dead. They could come back to work on whatever they needed to work on, or whatever their mission would be in another form. They wouldn't die if they were able to come back. I remember that. And then it was a child. Can't remember who this child was, but it was a child that this happened to, where he was killed on a particular land. I remember seeing someone hold this child. And I'm trying to explain this the best way I can, y'all. So please work with me here. As like I've told you all before, it's telepathic messages that I'm interpreting, right? And it's also visual, because I had visuals, but there's no words. Okay, so this little boy had got hurt, and he was transitioning into this type of being or creature that's not like our physical form. It was something else. And through the transition process, he would itch. As when you scratch the skin would go away. It's kind of like, you know, when you're scaly, or you're scaling, you see your dry skin coming off. It was more of all of the skin, the color and everything just disintegrated out. And then whatever was underneath, it was something else that he had become, that he was underneath, is what was coming out once you scratch the skin off. It was like just you scratching. I don't even know what. I just remember seeing this black little boy, and he was trying to scratch, but whoever was holding him started to scratch, because it's like she knew what he was getting ready to transform. So she was like expediting the process so he wouldn't have to go through it for so long. She scratched him, and I just saw the skin disintegrate. Well, when I was watching that, happen, because this was all coming from like a third eye view. It wasn't like they knew I was there or anything. It was like something that I was watching. And y'all, I don't know if this is in another dimension or a realm or reality or timeline. I don't know, but it was so wild. So I'm seeing the boy scratch. I'm seeing the skin disintegrate, and then it started to transform. I'm watching the little boy transform, but something came and took me. I've never experienced anything like this in a dream state before. Something came and took me. And it was like, it's like it took my whole consciousness, my spirit. It took all of me, and it placed me in the center of it. I don't even know where I was. It placed me in the center of it. And then I saw this creature. Now, this creature was like a snake dragon type of thing. It was brown and black. I'll never forget. And it swirled around me, and it swirled all the way around. And I saw it was thick, and it was big, and it was huge. And it was like I was just sitting watching it. But while it was swirling and doing all this around me, it was telling me information. And so it was it placed me, it was talking about Egypt. And as it was saying things that I don't even know, I can't even tell you the words of what it was saying at this point, because it was so much information that it was just like, as it was moving, it was visuals that it was giving me as well. And these visuals were showing me Egypt. These visuals was showing me tombstones, and then it was showing me Egypt, and then it started giving me like these numbers. Like I started seeing like years, numbers or something. I don't know. It was weird. I've never experienced. And so seeing that brown, and it was mostly brown, but the edges of it was like black. And the only thing I remember is like a snake dragon. And then the last thing I remember it saying was Aurora Borealis. And I was like, Aurora Borealis. And you know when you're halfway like sleep, but you woke, but you sleep and you're still in a dream state, but you kind of like, it was almost like I may have gotten to a lucid dream state, but I didn't. And it was the only thing that it kept was Aurora Borealis, which we know is the Aurora Borealis is where is it? I forgot. Y'all have to refresh my memory now as I'm, trying to really recall the dream. But I know the Aurora Borealis is, the sky when it turns green, and it's on the part of the world where you can only go to a particular time of the year, and then they don't let people in there. But I think it has something to do with the electromagnetic field of the earth and different energies, or it flares, a solar flare, something that hits the earth, but it's this protection shield, but it creates these colors, these different colors, which is, they call it the Aurora Borealis. This is what they're telling us. I don't really know at this point if that is true of what they're telling us about the Aurora Borealis. Something else is too, at this point, based on the snake dragon, put me in Egypt, swirling around me, popping up numbers and tombstones, and then talking about Aurora Borealis. I don't even know how true it is of what they're telling us about Aurora Borealis at this time. And so after that happened, it was like, all of that was done. And I end up on another timeline. Now in this timeline, I was at some type of event. It was almost like a big mansion, and there was a party there of people, dignitaries, people who were probably may have been in politics, or millionaires, or people who had a lot of money or whatever. For whatever reason, I was there, and I was there with by myself, but it was like I had been there before, and I knew these people. Like, me and these people were socialites. We had connected before. It was a man in particular that came to me in this part of the dream, and he was in a fraternity. He was a Kappa in a fraternity. And this is the first time I have dreamed about somebody being in a fraternity. It's weird. But he was in a fraternity. He was a Kappa. He was very distinguished, but he was like, he was an extremely handsome, attractive man. Slender. I remember he had on a black suit, white shirt. He was medium brown skin complexion. He was black, but he was also, I think in the dream, the energy came to me that his mother was Arabic and his father was black. He identifies only as black. And even though he's very affluent, he knows many languages, he's very smart, he was a Kappa, he identifies as being a black man only, even though he knows what he knows as, having the Arabic bloodline in him. But he was, coming to me, talking to me, and I was like, no. I was like, because the last time you were trying to talk to my friend, he said, no, I wasn't. He was like, I was trying to get, information from her on business or whatever. So this man was all in my energy, all in my face. It was like he was really trying to get my attention. Now, remember I told y'all the other day about my lucid entry points. I feel like he was my lucid entry point too. And now I'm saying that it's coming to me as male energy a lot. The more that I'm thinking about that part of the dream and thinking about his energy and him, persuading me and trying to get my attention, telling me information, I feel like I was supposed to really go more into him and focus my energy more so on him. That's why he was attractive. That's why he knew a lot, and that's why he was in my face to kind of get me in so I could go lucid. but I didn't go into it for whatever reason. I don't know what the blockages were on that last night. There's something there that I'm working out with going into the lucid place, because I'm recognizing the lucid entrance points once I wake up, but it's like in a dream state, I'm not there to go into it, and I have to figure out a way to say, hey, this is my lucid entry point, let me give it more attention. And I may have to go more into meditation. So if I meditate more here, I'll be more of a calmer energy there, where I can recognize these points. My energy will be slowed down and I can adhere to it when it comes to me. But anyway, yeah, it was some other parts of the dream, but those were the main points, with the snake dragon taking me to Egypt, showing me tombstones and numbers and talking about the Aurora Borealis. And then that snake dragon stemmed from these energies that got killed in a particular part of the land, but they are not dead. They're not dead. They have changed forms. This could be the ancestors. I don't know, y'all. I'm just going off of whatever is coming to me at this point, and hopefully, I'm receiving information to give me what is to interpret the dream. But it's like it's changing forms, taking the skin, scratching the skin, and releasing, disintegrating, and going into a different form. And these entities, they weren't humans. I don't want you all to think they were humans that look physically like us. Like, these were some type of entities. The features of them were not, becoming. I can't say nothing else but that. I wasn't scared. I've released that out of me, to be scared or in fear or anything when I have dreams. When different entities or energies, or I experience killings and stuff like that in the dreams, I don't, it gives me a different type of feeling when I wake up. But I'm not in fear during the dream. I don't wake up scared or frightened or anything anymore. That stopped. But it's like I'm experiencing it, and I'm just watching it, and I'm looking at it. Like, and when I'm in a dream, so I'm like, wow, this is different. Like, what is that? Like, I'm in a dream, like, even watching these different entities, it was like I was a part of whatever. Because remember, I told you they had the Martian gun the night before in the dream. I disintegrated. I went to another timeline. There wasn't just me. It was another group of people. We all got disintegrated with that gun and went to another timeline and to do some work. And I feel like when I saw it again in the dream last night, I was a part of these people who had died on this particular, who got killed or died on this particular, it was like some type of war. I don't know, y'all. It was very fuzzy on that part. I just know these people got killed on a particular land. They got killed on this land, and they have transformed into another type of being. And because they have transformed into another type of being, and these beings look different. They almost were similar to the snake dragon, but not the dragon part, because they weren't. The dragon was like flying and swirling and stuff, but they had the brownish color to them. That kind of weird features, just very weird. It just, looking at them, being in this type of physical human being looking state, it looked nothing like what we look like, but it was brown. And then when I was seeing the boy transform, and I was seeing flash of these different type of entities, that's when the snake dragon took me up and was telling me information. So yeah, that was the dream state, y'all. I'm always trying to make sense of it. If you're someone who can interpret dreams, or any of this resonates with you on any level, connect with me. let me know. Leave a comment, leave a message. Follow me on Instagram, The Black Fit Witch on Instagram. I even have theblackfitwitch@gmail.com if you want to send me an email. I'm all about deciphering dreams. It's not about subscribers. It's not about followers. It's not about any of that, because a lot of the information that we have, this is not for the masses. I am not putting out videos for the masses. I'm putting out this information for people who resonate with it. You don't have to share my videos with anybody. You don't have to, repost my videos anywhere. I really don't want that at all. I just want those who this information resonates with. If you're receiving dreams, if you're receiving information, if what I'm saying in any type of way resonates with an experience that you've had, whether it be in the dream state or on psychedelics or anything, let's connect, let's talk about it. Let's try to put these puzzle pieces together to figure out, what are these different layers of existences that we live in, and putting these pieces together as much as we possibly can. I feel like each generation is there to bring more awareness so we can teach the next generation. So we had a generation and generations and people before us that gave us pieces to the puzzle. Now it's for us to build upon that based on the information, that the intuitive guidance, the dreams, the psychedelic trips that we go on, all of that, the connections with each other, the thinning of the veil, releasing another veil, stepping into new earth, the conspiring of the energy here for our good. Is for us to utilize all of that, utilize all of this energy, utilizing the technology we have, utilizing everything in order for us to get information and answers on the ascension of all parts of our layers and our beings, and how did we get here, why are we here, all of that. So yeah, that has been my experience the night before last night, and a little bit of what I'm thinking it could be. So yeah, it's the snake dragon in Egypt, and the Aurora Borealis is the biggest thing that it was getting out, was Aurora Borealis. That was the last thing it said. And so yeah, that was my dream. So yeah, connect with me, leave me a comment, like the video if you choose to or not. But I want to leave you in peace and high frequencies.